about discovery of neutron. Discovery of neutron, and Chadwick discovered this particle, and he noticed that it is not having any charge and mass same as proton. So to get this neutron, and first alpha particle is bombarded with beryllium material, and it forms a carbon isotopes C613. You see that atomic number is same and mass number is different. Isotope it forms, and but which is unstable isotope. This is that immediately convert into stable isotope, that is a C612 it can convert, and plus and one neutron it can give outside, plus some amount of energy also it gives outside. This is a reaction, nuclear reaction you can say. This is a nuclear reaction and neutron emits outside. See that experimental here, there is to emit alpha particle we need a radioactive element, polonium, and polonium emits alpha particle. Those are strikes the beryllium plate here, and the beryllium plate emits neutrons using this reaction, you see, and neutrons are rejected. And they study about the properties of these neutrons by applying here electric field and a magnetic field, and different cases they are studying here. And after that, whether this particle comes outside or not, to check that they use another process, that is they use a paraffin wax. Whenever neutrons enters into paraffin wax, they become slows down and they are converted into protons. So how they are converting into protons means, see that as a neutron is not having any charge and 0, but mass is there 1, that will be converted into a proton. Proton nothing but you can write either P or H, H11 plus, you see that here to balance the equation, you see here 1 is there, here 0 is there, so that's why you should get -1 here, and here 1, here 1, so here you should get 0. So the particle which is having and the mass is 0, charge is -1, that is electron. And in this process what happened, we get some energy that is in the form of neutrino. This is not gamma, it is a neutrino. Neutrino, it is like a photon only, like particle only, and but in disintegration of neutron to proton or proton to neutron, we get neutrino or anti-neutrino, like that we get. Suppose same process is takes place for proton, you can take proton H11 gives rise gives a neutron 01 plus, you see the balance here 1 is there, here 0 is there, so you should get 1 to balance that. Here 1 gone, so you get 0, then you get write this as a positron. And here in the previous case you see you get electron, negative charge, mass is 0, positive charge, mass is 0. This is what we call positron, opposite of electron, antiparticle, and plus neutrino we get. There anti-neutrino, here neutrino, both are energies only. Okay, like this nuclear reaction takes place. And why they are converting these neutrons by passing through paraffin wax, why they are converting into protons? So to measure number of neutrons, there is no instrument to measure that. Why? Because it is a neutral body. If you are using an electrical instrument, it won't show any reading. Even the particles are reaching the circuit or particle reaching the device, they are not showing any reading here. That's why we are wantedly converting to protons. Suppose protons are reaching ionization chamber and they reach to amplifier. Here this protons added means what happens, some current is set inside. Even suppose if you apply these neutrons directly and those are not creating any current, we didn't find any deflection in the meter. That's why wantedly we are converting into protons, and whatever you get protons here, that number is very less you get. But whatever the instruments we have, that up to few microamperes we can measure, less than that means we can't measure. But here whatever the protons we are getting, that we get nano amperes or pico amperes, very less current only we get. To increase the current, wantedly they use an amplifier. What is the purpose of amplifier? Whatever the number of protons we are getting, those are amplified and they multiply these protons and it gives huge current. Using that current, how many protons we are getting, using multiplication factor, how many protons here we are getting, the same number of neutrons here we are getting, that will be identified here. And how they notice the particles which are coming from beryllium is neutrons means they start applying electric field. Here positive plate, here negative plate, like that they apply. They are not deflecting. Similarly, they apply magnetic field. In that case also they are not deflecting. So they consider that charged particle means compulsory they deflect with the magnetic and electric fields. So these are not deflecting. So they decide that neutrons, these are the neutrons which are uncharged particles. But mass is same as proton. That Chadwick discovered, and there is no charge of the particle, but mass is same as proton. That's what they call it as neutron here. First, polonium material ejects alpha particle bombarded with beryllium plate, and after that you get neutrons. After getting neutrons will be converted into protons. You see here, neutrons will be converted into protons by giving electron and some energy outside. Those are passed through ionization chamber. Here what happened? Number of protons will be multiplied and number of protons improved, amplified, and finally we can measure number of protons comes outside. You know, number of protons is directly proportional to number of neutrons here. Now we'll see what are the properties of these neutrons. We already know, number of times we discuss, and uncharged particles, but mass is same as proton. Mass is same as proton, uncharged particle. And second one, they have high penetration power. What is meaning of high penetration power? High penetration power means, suppose for example, and you can take a closest approach concept. What is a closest approach? There is a target element which is having positive charge at the center, that is Ze, and an alpha particle is moving towards to this nucleus. This positive charge and this also positive charge, what happened? And because of like charges, it start repelling. That means less than certain distance, it can't go nearer to the target element. This is what we call closest approach. Because of repulsive force. Suppose in place of this alpha particle, positive charged particle, if you take a neutron, what happens? Without any disturbance, it can enter into the nucleus because it is not having any charge. If there is no charge, there is no repulsion. Directly with that kinetic energy to enter into the nucleus, and from there it creates instability. Why? Because whenever the neutron number increases in the nucleus, and the nucleus become unstable, and that causes splitting of nucleus. That's why nuclear fission process, this is the best particle to split the nucleus, or a nuclear fission process. Reason? Because of there is no charge. No charge means no repulsive. No repulsive means easy penetration. So neutron has high penetration power. Neutron have high penetrating power and very low ionization. Easily we can remove this particle from the nuclei. Easily we can remove. And outside the nucleus, these are unstable. They can't stay much time outside the nucleus. So maximum they can stay up to 1,000 seconds only. But inside the nucleus they are stable. How a proton will be converted into neutron? Proton having charge 1 and mass 1, but neutron no charge, mass is there. So this charge, what happened? It gives a positron, positive electron, positron, and gives some energy in the form of here neutrino. This is neutrino, not gamma particle. Similarly, if neutron also can convert into proton, neutron convert into proton, here there is no charge, but here you get +1 charge. To balance that, here -1 charge you should take. Mass 1 for proton, also mass 1, but electron mass is 0. And this antineutrino, bar means antineutrino, that also type of energy we get, like photon only. And these another property, these neutrons can be slowed down by using a material like a heavy water, deuterium, and paraffin wax. That what we are using here in generation of neutrons. What happened? And neutrons will be slowed down using paraffin wax. Of course, they are converted into protons and graphite. And these neutrons, they use a nuclear fission process, that is in atomic bomb they use these neutrons. And to continue the process in atomic bomb, a nuclear fission, we need a slow moving neutron. So to get a slow moving neutron, they use this heavy water. The neutrons which are generated here are passes through heavy water, paraffin wax or graphite. Then the speed will be decreases. And other property, neutrons are diffracted by crystals. What is diffracted means? and if any particle changes path when it is when in some place, that what you call diffraction. Suppose light is going in the direction up to there, it goes in straight way, and there suddenly it changes direction, that what you call diffraction. So neutrons are diffracted by crystals. Important points: uncharged, mass same as proton, high penetration power, low ionization, easily we can remove, and stable inside the nucleus, and unstable outside the nucleus. And to slow down, they use heavy water, paraffin and graphite, and crystals are diffracted this neutron motion. Now we see about mass defect. What is mass defect means? The difference of mass of the nucleons and to the nucleus of the element. That means suppose you can take an element which is having X, name of the element is X, and atomic number is Z, and mass number is A. Atomic number means this is a number of protons, Z is number of protons, A minus Z is number of neutrons. Suppose if you separately measure the mass of protons and neutrons, so how many protons are there, and Z number of protons are there, and each mass of the proton is MP, and plus how many neutrons are there, A minus Z into mass of the neutron. This is a actual mass should be there for the nucleus. Why? Because it is composition of A number of nucleons. Total number A, protons are Z and neutrons are A minus Z. Total mass should be this much, it should be. So this part, Z into MP plus A minus Z into Mn. But actually what happened, after forming as a nucleus, these protons and neutrons, some of the mass they lose. So how much mass they lose, that only what they call mass defect. The difference between the total mass of all nucleons before forming nucleus to that of actual mass of the nucleus is called mass defect. This is the before forming nucleus individual, if we measured mass of the protons plus mass of the neutrons minus mass of the nucleus, mass of the X element. That is only about nucleus. Forget about electrons. We didn't consider that electron mass. Why? Because almost very small mass, we can neglect that. And here mass defect is and mass of protons and neutrons individually minus mass of the nucleus. That is mass defect. So next about packing fraction. Packing fraction means a simple definition. On an averagely, each nucleon how much mass it loses. For example, here you can take an example, X612 is there. How many nucleons are there? 12 nucleons are there, 6 protons and 6 neutrons. So separately, if you measure the mass of neutrons and protons, then you can use this number of protons into mass of the proton plus number of neutrons into mass of the neutrons minus the mass of the nucleus. That's what you call mass defect. Mass defect by number of nucleons. That means total mass, how much difference we are getting by number of nucleons, means on an average each nucleon how much mass it loses. Or you can say here packing fraction is F is equal to mass of the nucleus minus mass number of the element by mass number. Then what you get, we know that, and how much mass is there. Suppose if you take X612, that is C612 we can take, and 12 AMUs of mass should be there in case of carbon, 12 AMUs. So here 12, A is 12 and M is actual mass you have to calculate. What is the mass of the nucleus, that you have to take here. Mass of the nucleus minus mass number by mass number. That gives averagely each nucleon how much mass it loses. That what you call packing fraction. That is delta M, mass defect by mass number, or mass defect by mass number. That gives packing fraction. Generally this value should be negative. Why? Because this is the mass of the nucleus, this is the mass of all nucleons. So this value should be how less value, this total is negative. When any nucleus, if this value is negative, we can say that is stable nucleus. Stable nucleus. Negative means stable nucleus. and positive means unstable nucleus, easily it will break into fragments. So if F is negative, stable, F is positive, unstable nucleus. Reason you see, and what happened here, mass of the nucleus after neutrons and protons combine to form as a nucleus. This is the mass of individual protons and neutrons, all if you add, that is a mass number we get. Difference before combine and after combine. After combine, less should be there. Why? Because what happened, this mass according to Einstein equation, whatever the mass disappear here or mass defect, that will be converted into energy, which help to bind the nucleus, which help to hold the nucleus like stability, like a hold as a sphere or a hold like a packet, and it used. That what we call binding energy. Later we'll discuss that. But what happened, this mass defect, that difference of mass or that mass defect, disappeared mass convert into energy, which help to pack the nucleus. If it is negative here and that nucleus is stable, positive means unstable, easily it will be break. Now we'll see about binding energy. So we already discussed mass defect is there. That mass defect or disappeared mass, what happened, that will be converted into energy. So here according to Einstein equation, binding energy is equal to delta m c square. Actually E is equal to mc square formula. But total mass is gone. Total mass is not disappear. Certain amount of mass only disappear. That's why E is equal to delta m c square. Delta m is mass defect here. So what is binding energy? Mass defect. Mass defect already we did. Mass of the protons, total mass of the protons plus total mass of the neutrons minus mass of the nucleus into c square. Into c square. Delta m into c square. That is mass defect into c square gives binding energy, which help to hold the nucleus stable. Suppose if we measure delta m in AMUs, atomic mass units, then, and you can write delta m into 931.5 MeV, then you get energy in MeVs, mega electron volt or million electron volt we get. And suppose if you want in SI, then delta m should be take in kgs. Then what is C value? 3 into 10 power 8 whole square is there. That is 9 into 10 power 16 joules we get. Energy unit in SI, joules. So, and if you measure mass in AMUs, 931.5 you multiply. If you measure mass in kgs, multiply with 9 into 10 power 16 joules we get. Now we'll see about binding fraction. Binding fraction or binding energy for nucleon. So that is a mass defect. First we calculate delta m. Delta m is mass defect for the whole nucleus. Delta m by A is there, and we discussed there delta m by A, that is a binding, that is a packing fraction. Packing fraction. And binding energy, how much energy is used to bind the nucleus, that is what we call binding energy. Now binding energy for nucleon, for each nucleon, for each nucleus, how much energy required to remove from the nucleus. Suppose if you take a proton or neutron, if you want to remove from the nucleus, how much energy you have to use. That what you call binding energy for nucleon. What is binding energy? To remove all the nucleons, protons and neutrons separated from the nucleus, that how much energy required. This is for all nucleons to get separated, and how much energy required, that is binding energy. And this is only to remove one of the nucleon, either proton or neutron, how much energy required, that what you call binding energy for nucleon. So Be by A, how many nucleons are there? A number of nucleons are there. So Be by A, and Be already we know, delta m into that c square you can write 931.5 or 9 into 10 power 16 by A. Generally A and delta m, if you take in AMUs, use this formula, and finally you get binding energy for nucleon, you get in MeVs we get. And suppose if binding energy for nucleon is more, it is difficult to remove a nucleon from the nucleus. More means, so in that case we can say that nucleus is stable. Suppose if that value is less, so it is easy to remove the nucleon from the nucleus, and that nucleus is unstable.